There are things we all bring into our homes without a second thought. A coin found on the sidewalk, a beautiful old clock from a thrift store, a bracelet passed down from a friend. They're small, harmless, even comforting. But sometimes the things we allow through our front door come with more than just sentimental value. They carry energy, unseen, unspoken, but deeply felt. This isn't about superstition, it's about patterns. You might notice a room feels heavy. Your sleep changes, arguments surface without reason, or money starts slipping through your hands faster than it comes in. And yet you can't quite point to why. The truth is, certain objects, even ones that look perfectly normal, can quietly interrupt the natural flow of your home's well-being. Not in a dramatic, Hollywood kind of way, but like a faucet with a slow leak. You don't see the damage until it's too late. Take a stopped clock. It might just mean dead batteries, or it might be the reason you've been feeling stuck, as if nothing's moving forward. Or that strange rope in the garage, you've meant to throw it out but never have. Some items, especially those tied to pain, loss, or conflict, don't just sit quietly on a shelf. They echo. Today, we're not here to fear objects. We're here to understand them. In this video, I'll show you 5 specific items that many people unknowingly keep in their homes. Items that can subtly invite misfortune, stress, or a sense of stuckness. More importantly, I'll help you recognize what these objects represent and how to clear the path forward. Because your home should be your refuge, not a place where old energies settle and stay, not a place where silent weight collects, but a space that reflects where you're going, not what's holding you back. Number 1, the stray coin looks lucky, carries misery. Have you ever bent down to pick up a coin on the sidewalk and thought, maybe this is a little bit of luck today? It's a common moment. Something shiny catches your eye near the grocery store parking lot, beside your mailbox, or just outside your front steps. You reach for it, smile to yourself, and slip it into your pocket. But sometimes what looks like luck isn't. Sometimes it's the start of something you never meant to invite into your life. Coins are more than currency. They pass through hands, through stories, through energy. And when a coin ends up in a place where no one claims it, sometimes it's not lost by accident, it was left there on purpose. In many traditions, when someone goes through intense misfortune, grief, or spiritual imbalance, they perform rituals to release that energy. One of the most common, leaving money behind, not as an offering, not for someone else to find joy in, but to leave the bad luck somewhere else so they can walk away from it, and the first person to pick it up. In that moment, they unknowingly take on what someone else was desperate to get rid of. That's not superstition, that's energy. That's weight moving from one life into another. Think about how many hands a coin touches before it gets to you. The cashier who was angry, the stranger who cried into their hands before dropping it, the person who threw it onto a street corner after their job loss or breakup, whispering, "Take it, I'm done with it." You didn't see that moment, but you picked up the echo. And maybe for a while you didn't feel anything at all, but then little things started shifting. Sleep felt less restful. Conversations at home grew tenser. An unexpected expense came up, then another. You blamed stress, the news, the season. But sometimes it's not about what's happening around you. It's what entered your space without being invited. Not a person, not a thought, just a thing. A simple object holding onto something that wasn't meant for you. This doesn't mean every coin is dangerous. That would be fear-based thinking, and we're not here to fear. We're here to notice, to slow down, to ask better questions. Why did I feel drawn to pick this up? Why didn't I hesitate? Why did I think it meant something lucky? In a culture that often tells us, every penny counts, we're taught to gather, to save, to hold on. But sometimes what we gather wasn't meant for us, and holding on, especially to energy that doesn't belong, can feel like walking with an invisible weight in your pocket. You don't see it, but it's there, tiring you out, making you second-guess yourself, stealing your peace in tiny, unnoticed moments. Some people say, well, it's just a coin. What harm can it do? But the better question is, what message are you sending when you pick it up? That you're open to receive no matter what it is, that you'll take anything offered, even if it carries sorrow. Because your home, your energy, your life deserve better than anything. They deserve alignment, intention, cleansing. Now let's talk practically. What if you've already picked one up? What if there's a coin sitting in your kitchen drawer or tucked into your purse right now and your gut's telling you it doesn't feel right? First, pause. Don't rush to toss it or spend it. That's like throwing that energy back into the world without thought. Instead, use that moment to shift its meaning. Give it away with clear intention. Donate it to a cause you believe in. Drop it into a charity box at your local cafe, or simply walk it out somewhere peaceful. Place it gently beneath a tree on a park bench and whisper something like, "Let this be cleared. Let this be released." What matters is not fear. What matters is choice. When you release something with love instead of panic, you create space for the right kind of energy to come in. It's also important to be mindful of the coins used in funerals or memorial rituals. In many traditions, coins are used as symbols of goodbye. They are placed in hands, in caskets, on altars. They are meant for closure, not for circulation. If such a coin somehow found its way into your home, whether through inheritance, resale, or accident, it's essential to treat it with deep respect. Don't wear it. Don't keep it near your bed or door. Set it aside, acknowledge its weight, and release it when the time feels right, quietly, gently, gratefully. In many homes, people keep little bowls near the front door filled with spare change. Maybe you do too, but I invite you to take a moment and look at those coins, not out of fear, but out of awareness. Ask yourself, do I know where these came from? Do they still feel like mine, or are they just sitting here, collecting dust and stories that were never mine to carry? The point of this isn't to make you suspicious of every object. It's to remind you that your home has a frequency, a rhythm, and everything inside it is either helping that rhythm stay clear or making it stutter, stall, and shift off course. The coin may be small, insignificant even, but sometimes the most subtle things are what tip the balance, what opens the door, what lets in a slow, steady current of heaviness that no one can quite name, but everyone starts to feel. So next time you see a coin left behind, ask yourself, is this truly a gift? Or is this someone else's sorrow, waiting for another hand to hold it? And remember this, you are not desperate. You are not someone who needs to take whatever shows up. You are someone who chooses, who curates what comes into your space, who protects the sanctuary of your home not with fear, but with presence. Let every object you carry feel like yours. Let it lift you, not weigh you down, even if it's just a penny. The rope in the back of a drawer still tied to grief. Most homes have a drawer like this where odds and ends go when no one knows what else to do with them. Old batteries, spare keys, scissors that barely work, a roll of duct tape, and sometimes quietly buried beneath it all, something we forgot we kept or never truly faced, a piece of rope. Maybe it was once used for camping. Maybe it came from the garage, tied around a box, left in a corner. It's easy to overlook, easy to say it's just a rope. But what if it wasn't? What if that rope was once tied to something painful, something tragic? What if it was connected to a loss that left a crack in your family that never quite healed? Maybe it belonged to someone you loved who left this world too early, too suddenly. Maybe it was used in a moment no one talks about anymore, but the rope stayed, folded, hidden, waiting. We don't like to think about it. And for many, the idea of energy tied to an object sounds like something out of a ghost story. But grief has a frequency, so does trauma. So does the silent decision to leave something painful untouched for years. That rope, if it holds the memory of loss, fear, or despair, doesn't just sit in a drawer. It lingers, it speaks in whispers, it carries weight. You might not even know it's there, but energy doesn't need our attention to exist. It doesn't need permission to influence the atmosphere of a room or the emotional tone of a home. It just exists, tucked away, like a shadow you keep tripping over without realizing why. Some families have shared stories where on the anniversary of a loss, someone else in the house falls into deep sadness. Sometimes it's a child who doesn't even remember the event. Sometimes it's a sudden bout of fear, anxiety, or insomnia that seems to come out of nowhere. And often, when people trace it back, they realize the object tied to that loss was never really gone. It was just moved, not released, not honored, not removed, just hidden. It's human to hold onto things, especially when we're grieving. Especially when we don't know what else to do, we keep the photos, the letters, the clothes, the objects that still smell like them, that still sound like their voice. And some of that is good, healing, anchoring. But there's a difference between a memory that uplifts and an object that drags your energy down every time you walk past it, even if you're not aware of it. The rope is just a symbol, but a powerful one. In some spiritual traditions, ropes used in tragic circumstances, especially suicides, are considered sacred in their pain but dangerous in their residue. They hold the imprint of final moments, final decisions, final breaths, and unless they are laid to rest properly, that energy doesn't rest either. This doesn't mean the object is cursed. It's not about punishment. It's about honoring what it carried and letting it go with care. Because no object, no matter how practical, should remain in your home if it quietly replays sorrow through your walls. If you know, without a doubt, that something in your house was tied to tragedy, ask yourself why it's still there. Not with guilt, but with clarity, with love. Maybe you kept it because you didn't want to forget. Maybe you thought you were being strong by not making a big deal out of it. Maybe you didn't know what else to do, so here's what you can do now. First, acknowledge it. Hold it if it feels safe and say, I see you, I remember what you witnessed, I thank you, but I release you now. Speak it out loud or whisper it, but say it with heart. Then let it go in a way that feels complete. Some traditions recommend burning the item during daylight in a quiet, respectful place. Others bury it deep in the earth with flowers or salt, symbols of cleansing and peace. You can light a candle afterward, say a prayer, or simply sit in silence and let the moment settle. The action itself isn't what matters most. It's the intention, the presence, the willingness to face what was once too hard to look at and gently, kindly let it move on. If the object can't be disposed of, or if it's not yours to make that call, find a way to neutralize its influence. Place it in a sealed box with grounding items, salt, herbs, crystals known for cleansing. Store it outside the home if possible, or in a place where it's not central to your living space. But above all, stop pretending it doesn't affect you. That silence creates stagnation, and stagnation grows heavier with time. Your home is more than walls and furniture. It's the emotional field where your life unfolds, and every object, especially those tied to deep moments, influences how that field feels. When we carry sorrow without transforming it, it seeps into the corners, into our sleep, into our relationships, into our future. There is no shame in grief, no weakness in mourning, but healing doesn't mean forgetting, and it doesn't mean hiding what still hurts. It means choosing to carry forward what uplifts, and gently, reverently laying down what weighs too much. So open that drawer. Look again. What's in there that you've stopped seeing? You don't have to fear it, you don't have to rush it, but you do deserve a home where grief doesn't echo through forgotten objects, where what's painful has been honored and released, because your future deserves lightness, and that begins with the quietest things we choose to let go of. The stopped clock, when time stops, so does life. You notice it one day not because it's loud, but because something about the silence feels off. The clock in your living room hasn't moved. Maybe the battery died last month. Maybe it's been longer. The truth is, you stopped checking. You don't even remember when you last heard it tick. But what you do remember is that lately, things feel stuck. Mornings blend into afternoons. You lose track of time. Energy feels flat, and you can't quite name why. A stopped clock doesn't seem like a big deal. It's easy to overlook. It's just a decoration now, part of the wall. But clocks aren't meant to be still. They are the heartbeat of a room, constant, subtle, keeping rhythm in the background of our lives. And when they stop, something shifts, not just in the room, but in you. Homes have energy, flow, momentum. A stopped clock is more than a mechanical failure. It's a visual message your brain sees every day. Nothing is moving, nothing is progressing, nothing is alive here. And over time, that message seeps into your mood, your motivation, your mental clarity. Without realizing it, you start to adopt the stillness of the object in your space. Some people report that when a clock in their home stops, they feel more tired, slower, less inspired. It's not magic, it's symbolism. It's the psychology of presence. Your environment speaks to you constantly, even when you're not consciously listening. And a broken clock whispers the same phrase over and over: something is stuck. Now imagine that clock is near your front door, the entry point of new energy, opportunities, connections. Or in your kitchen where life happens, meals are shared, creativity flows. Or even in your bedroom where time is meant to soften, stretch, and renew. In those spaces, a stopped clock doesn't just pause the hour. It sends a quiet message: don't expect movement here. This isn't about being afraid of broken objects. This is about understanding what they say to us without words. Clocks carry emotional weight in ways we don't always acknowledge. For older generations, a stopped clock might evoke memories of loss, of time running out, of something unfinished. For those navigating life transitions, it can feel like a mirror of their inner state. I'm not moving forward, and I don't know why. And perhaps you felt that. A sense that the days are passing, but you're not. That goals you set months ago are still sitting in the same notebook, untouched. That dreams you once nurtured now feel like ideas from a different life. You tell yourself it's just stress, just winter, just hormones. But sometimes it's also what you're living alongside, what's in your space echoing your stuckness back to you. So what do you do with a stopped clock? You don't just throw it out. You start by noticing it. You look at it and ask, when did you stop? And why didn't I notice? That moment of awareness alone is powerful. It shifts you from unconscious stagnation into conscious choice. Next, check if it can be repaired. Sometimes a new battery is all it takes, and with one small action, you reset the energy in that corner of your home and in your life. You restore the heartbeat. You tell your space movement is welcome again. But what if the clock is old, irreparable, sentimental but no longer functional? Then ask yourself, why are you keeping it? If it's truly meaningful, turn it into art, set it to a meaningful time, but remove its place of power. Don't let it stay in the center of your living space, quietly holding back the flow. Move it, reframe it, or if you're ready, let it go. Because here's the truth: time doesn't freeze for any of us, but we can feel frozen when we surround ourselves with symbols of stillness. And the more stillness piles up, stopped clocks, unread books, closed curtains, unopened mail, the harder it becomes to believe that life is still unfolding, that it's not too late, that something new can still begin. So look around your home. Are there places where time seems to have paused, not just on the clock, but in the feeling of the space? A corner where dust collects, a chair no one sits in, a calendar that's still on last spring. These are the echoes of halted movement, and they matter. Your space should reflect the rhythm you want to live by, not rushed, not chaotic, but alive, in motion, responsive. The sound of a working clock, soft, steady, certain, isn't just about timekeeping. It's about momentum, reassurance, presence. Some people worry that this is too sentimental, that it's silly to attach meaning to a broken clock. But the truth is, we attach meaning to everything. That's what it means to be human. That's how we make sense of the world. That's how healing happens, not just in our minds, but in our spaces. There's an old belief that when someone passes away and a clock stops at the exact time of death, it's a sign, a soul transitioning, a moment suspended. Whether you believe that or not, the imagery is powerful. Time holds stories. Time deserves reverence, and a clock stopped and forgotten is a story that never finished its sentence. You deserve to live in a home where time feels kind, where days feel open, where there is room for movement, change, and breath. And sometimes that begins with something as small as a ticking second hand coming back to life. So if there's a stopped clock in your home, this is your gentle invitation. See it, really see it. Ask what it's been telling you, and decide if that's the message you want to keep hearing, because you are not stuck. You are not frozen in the past. You are here, and time is still yours to move with. The secondhand jewelry, beautiful but not your burden. You see it in the glass case at a vintage shop. A ring, delicate, timeless. Maybe it's a locket or a bracelet with a stone that catches the light just right. It feels like a discovery, like something meant for you, and maybe it is, or maybe it belonged to someone whose story is still clinging to its edges. Jewelry is not just metal and stone. It's memory, intention, energy held in form. These pieces sit close to the skin, touch the pulse, absorb emotion. And when they've lived with someone through love, loss, illness, fear, they remember, even if they've been polished, even if they sparkle, they still carry what they witnessed. We don't think about that when we find a beautiful deal or when we inherit a piece from someone who lived a difficult life. We think about style, sentiment, value. We rarely ask, what came with this piece that I cannot see? And yet, if you've ever put on a piece of jewelry and suddenly felt off, emotionally heavy, distracted, uneasy, you know. Something doesn't sit right, you take it off, you breathe easier. You think that's strange, but move on, and the truth is it's not strange. It's your body recognizing what your mind hasn't caught up to yet. Energy lingers. Stones are particularly strong at holding it. Quartz, jade, opal, even diamonds, they're not just decorative. They're like emotional sponges. They absorb what surrounds them. And in moments of grief, heartbreak, betrayal, those feelings get woven into the material. Imagine wearing a ring that once symbolized a broken promise, or a necklace given in the midst of loss. You may love how it looks, but how it feels, that's something deeper. You may notice your mood dips when you wear it, or relationships feel tense, or your thoughts become cloudy, heavy, stuck. This isn't about superstition, it's about sensitivity. And the more in tune you are with your environment, the more you'll notice the small things that shift your emotional field. Many women inherit jewelry from mothers, grandmothers, sisters. Some carry deep love. Others carry old pain, unspoken resentment, illness, generational sadness. You don't have to reject those gifts, but you do have to be honest about what they bring into your space. If you've been feeling off, emotionally drained, confused, or just not yourself, ask, what am I wearing that doesn't feel like mine? Start with presence, look at each piece, hold it, breathe. Ask yourself, not with logic, but with feeling, does this support me, or does this pull at me? If the answer isn't clear, trust your body. Notice if your heart rate shifts, your breath, your gut reaction, the body always knows. And if you discover that something beautiful has been weighing you down, don't be afraid to part ways, or if you're not ready, start with cleansing. There are many gentle ways to clear energy from jewelry. You can place it in sunlight for a few hours, letting the light purify what's old. You can soak it overnight in sea salt water, a natural neutralizer of emotional residue. You can pass it through the smoke of incense, sage, cedar, sandalwood, letting the smoke wrap around the piece and lift away what no longer serves. You can also give it intention, hold the item and speak to it. Whatever you've carried before me, I release. Whatever pain, I let it go. Whatever was, I honor, but it ends here. That may sound odd, but there's something powerful about giving voice to your boundaries. Energy responds to clarity. If the piece still doesn't feel right, let it go. Gift it, sell it. Donate it with kindness and closure. Not everything beautiful is meant to be yours, and not every gift is a blessing if it keeps you tied to someone else's unfinished healing. Your home, your body, your life, they are containers for your energy. Not a storage space for pain that predates you. You deserve to wear what lifts you, what reminds you of your strength, what feels like a reflection of who you're becoming, not who someone else used to be. There's no shame in walking away from what no longer aligns. That's not ungrateful. That's clarity. We live in a world where appearance often overrides intuition, where the sparkle of a gem speaks louder than the weight it holds. But that sparkle fades when you don't feel good wearing it, and that weight will whisper until you finally listen. So take the time, go through your jewelry box, not with fear but with care. See what still feels like you, what still feels alive, what still brings you joy when you wear it, not just when you look at it, and what makes you hesitate even for a second. That hesitation is the doorway, walk through it, because you don't just wear jewelry. It lives with you. It shares your space, your energy, your skin. And you deserve pieces that do more than decorate. You deserve pieces that heal, that hold, that honor. Beautiful things are everywhere, but the truly powerful ones are the ones that choose you back. With no strings, no sorrow, no story that isn't yours, only resonance, lightness, peace. The broken wind chime sound that calls the wrong things. There's a certain kind of silence that only broken sound leaves behind. You don't always notice it right away. A wind chime that used to ring gently every afternoon is suddenly quiet, or worse, it clinks with a sharp, uneven tone when the wind brushes through. One string has snapped, a piece is missing. The melody is no longer soft or complete, but it still hangs by your porch or outside your bedroom window or near your back door, and without meaning to, it's still speaking, just not in the language you remember. Wind chimes have long been believed to guide energy, not in a mystical way, but in a physical, emotional way. They stir the air, they respond to movement, they remind us that something unseen can still make music, that even the wind, when invited, can sing. In many homes, wind chimes are placed with love, chosen for their sound, their design, their feeling. And when they work as they should, they create a subtle shift in the air, a kind of rhythm that soothes, clears, and connects. But when they're broken, or worse, when they come from places filled with sorrow, the sound doesn't heal anymore. It disturbs, it lingers, it unsettles. You may not even realize what's changed. All you know is that sleep is harder. The nights feel colder. A strange heaviness enters your home, and you can't trace it to any conversation, decision, or event. Just a subtle sense that something's off. Not all wind chimes are equal. Some were made for joy. Others were made for something else, placed outside hospital rooms, grave sites, abandoned porches. Some were part of ceremonies of mourning. Some carried the last breath of someone who passed too soon. When those chimes are discarded, sold, or picked up at flea markets, their history doesn't disappear. Their sound remembers. When a wind chime is broken, its energy shifts. What was once fluid becomes jagged. What was once soothing becomes inconsistent. And energy in your home follows the same rhythm. You may notice more tension in the air, more confusion, miscommunication. The kind that starts small, a cold tone in the kitchen, a forgotten appointment, but grows into patterns, restlessness, a sense of unease, no clear cause, but a growing list of effects. And yet many people don't take wind chimes seriously. It's just decoration, they say. But think about it. When something sound-based no longer makes the right sound, it disrupts more than just the air. It disrupts the emotional landscape. A song with one wrong note, a voice with a crack, a chime with a rattle instead of a ring. It creates tension you don't know you're reacting to until you feel it in your body, in your home, in your relationships. Energy is vibration, and broken chimes vibrate differently, harshly, unpredictably, and your nervous system listens, even when you think you're ignoring it. So ask yourself, where is your wind chime from? Who owned it before you? Was it gifted, found, bought secondhand? And why are you still keeping it if it no longer sounds like peace? This is not about throwing things away in fear. This is about tuning your space with intention. If you discover that a wind chime in your home is cracked, unbalanced, or unsettling, first pause. Listen to it closely, not just for volume, but for tone. Ask yourself, does this sound like harmony or disruption? If it feels off, you have choices. First, try repairing it. Replace the broken piece, restring it. Gently clean it, clear the dust, give it a second chance, but only if you feel peace in the process. If touching the object fills you with dread, or if it brings up emotions that don't feel like yours, that's a message. In that case, release it, with care, with gratitude, not angrily, not fearfully. Wrap it in cloth. Place it in the earth, or let it go with the wind somewhere far from your home, by water, beneath trees, anywhere open enough for energy to return to neutral. And if you love the idea of sound returning to your space, choose a new one. Let yourself listen, really listen, to wind chimes before you bring them home. Does the sound make your chest soften? Does your breath slow? That's what you're looking for, not just beauty, but tone, vibration, truth. Sound is a powerful guide. Think of the difference between a lullaby and a siren, between the clink of a wine glass and the thud of a slammed door. Sound shapes how we feel even before we know we're feeling it. So why wouldn't the sound that greets your home matter? Let your wind chime be a welcome, not a warning. Many women I've worked with have told me stories that start with, "I don't know why, but ever since I brought this thing home," they talk about vivid dreams, insomnia, a shift in the way their space feels at night. And when they trace it back, the common thread is often sound, an object that rings but not sweetly, that sings but not softly, that calls, but to the wrong things. So let me offer you this. If you feel like your home hasn't been quite right lately, check what's hanging, not just visually, but audibly. What are you letting echo through your space? Is the sound one you would invite into your body, your bed, your breath? If not, it's time to let it go. Because your home isn't just where you live, it's where your energy rests. And every sound that lives there becomes a part of you. The good ones uplift, the broken ones unravel, and you deserve harmony. Final, we walk through our homes every day, passing by shelves, drawers, corners, sounds, rarely questioning what we've allowed to stay. A coin, a rope, a clock, a ring, a wind chime, on their own they seem so small, harmless, familiar. But what today has reminded us is that even the smallest objects carry presence, vibration, memory, and when left unexamined, they don't just fill space, they shape it. Your home is not just where you eat, sleep, rest. It is the emotional container of your life. It's the place where your energy lands after a long day, where your heart processes what the world never sees. And every object you keep, especially the ones closest to your breath, your skin, your entryways, either supports that flow or gently pulls against it. This isn't about fear. It's not about throwing things out. It's about noticing. About tuning into the quiet layers of your space, the subtle whispers, the weightless heaviness that some objects carry without ever making a sound. When we understand that energy is not abstract, but present, observable, and deeply personal, everything changes. You begin to see your home not as a place to store, but as a place to choose, a place that listens and speaks, a place that deserves clarity, softness, warmth, the same way you do. And so, if something you've heard today stirred something in you, trust that. Maybe you remembered a drawer you haven't opened in years. Maybe your eyes went to a broken clock or a piece of jewelry you've been meaning to let go of. That awareness alone is the start of transformation. Because change doesn't begin with a grand gesture. It begins when you stand in your own space and say softly, "This doesn't feel right anymore." And you let something go, not in fear, not in haste, but in love, in alignment, in peace. Thank you for staying with me through each of these stories, for allowing yourself to listen beyond logic, for being willing to feel. Your presence here matters more than you know. I hope today has offered not just reflection, but a sense of permission, to look again, to release, to reclaim the peace that's already waiting underneath it all. Wherever you are, whatever season you're in, I wish you clarity in your space, lightness in your heart, and the kind of silence that feels like home. Until next time, may your home breathe with you, not against you.